Hi, my name is Bonnie Marquette, and I want to welcome you to my little photography studio in the woods. I call the studio Capture the Details. I'm a macro photographer and I love to shoot still life, food, and nature macro, and I'm also a portrait photographer, and this studio allows me to do both. So I want to give y'all just a quick tour of what all is in the studio and how I have it set up. So I have, as you can see, I've got, when I was designing the studio, I wanted two really large natural light sources. So these windows are actually bulletproof glass. They're called Lexan, and I got them off of a movie set that I was working on, Captain Marvel, and they were going to throw them away. And they're very expensive to buy these sheets, so I was able to get some. And this window is a southwest facing window, and then this window is more of an east facing window. Of course the light moves during the day, but in the morning this has beautiful light. And then the other one has really pretty light in the afternoon. So it's great for using natural light, whether I'm shooting portraits or if I'm shooting still life or food or what have you. So these are some of the portraits that I've shot over the years. I have everything from a Miss Universe that I worked with, to my daughter, to some very good friends of mine, and some other various portraits that I've shot. Those were the girls. These are some of the guys that I've shot. Yes, that is Chris Christopherson. I've worked with him. And some other shots that I've shot over the years. I have a setup here. Everything in the studio is on wheels, so everything is portable. That's why I wanted it, so I can move things around. This is set up, of course, so I can tether my camera as I'm shooting and then see it full screen on this TV that I've turned into a screen. And I have all my different various things that I use. The studio itself, I'm going to back up here, is large enough and set up that I can shoot full-length portraits. And I will show you some of the backdrops that I have. So for those of you that know me, y'all know that I love redoing old furniture and things that are basically left for dead. And these 4 desks are actually desks that I either found at the thrift shop and paid little to nothing for, or were given to me. This one was bought from an antique dealer, and all of these desks were in bad shape. But what I did is I take them, I redo them, I make them functional again to where I can use them, and I use them for student desks. So when I have students in here, these are all on casters or wheels. Everything in this entire studio is, so I can move them towards the window or anywhere that we need to set up for the student to get their shoots. So they're pretty handy. I wanted to briefly show you too, as a little hint, I use a lot of textiles, and all of this was purchased at thrift stores and things like that for 5-10 cents, maybe 50 cents. If you're going to be using any type of fabric or textile, rather than fold it, the best thing to do is to roll them, because when you roll them, then you don't get those ugly creases that everybody hates in their shots. This is Jet. Come see Jet. Jet I inherited about a week ago. His owner, unfortunately, was my neighbor right next to me who passed away. And Jet needed a home, so here he is. This is my beautiful boy, Indy. He's 17. He was born here. And get back, Chet. He's quite the celebrity. Everybody loves him online. I get lots of great pictures of him, and he's always wanting to come into the studio. And he's a good boy. So if you come for one of my photography sessions, you'll get to meet Indy. Now over here, I'm going to shamelessly promote my books. This is my book that I published called Macro and Close-Up Photography for Beginners. It is available to purchase online. The link is down below. This other one is called The Beauty of Rosedown. And right now it's only available to be purchased here at the studio or at Greenwood Plantation in St. Francisville. I hope to have it online soon. I also have, hello Jet, I also have an online course that I teach, videotaped lessons with personal feedback that follows the book, the close-up and macro book, and the link is down in the description below as well. So check them out. One of my other loves is I love shooting nature macro, and this is some of the things that I've shot over the years. And of course, living in the middle of the woods in beautiful St. Francisville, I have a constant studio that I can walk out and shoot. It's never ending, especially in the spring and the summer when things are green and blooming and things like that. So that's hopefully in about another month or two, I'll be back out shooting in the woods and in the yard, and then I'll also give y'all a quick tour of that. So another love of mine is food photography, which is also another form of macro and still life. So the desks are set up too for the students that come and take my food photography lessons that we can shoot right here in the studio, and I'm going to show you the little mini kitchen that I also have set up. My equipment is, I use all Canon. Shout out to Canon. I have 2 EOS Rs, and I just recently got this EOS R5, which also shoots awesome video. And I use either Canon lenses or Tamron lenses. Shout out to Tamron and to Canon. For the macros, I almost exclusively use the Tamron macro lens. That's my favorite right there on that camera. And that's what I'll be shooting probably 90% of the stuff in the studio with. Unless I'm shooting portraits, then I'll be shooting the Canon 70-200 f2.8, which is a super sweet lens. And that's what I use when I shoot in the movies and I'm shooting on set. That's the lens that I use. And if you come and have your portrait taken with me, that will be also the same camera and lens that I'll be using to photograph you. It's the same one that I use to photograph Chris Christopherson and Miss Universe and then just us normal people. So moving into the back area, I have a fully functional mini kitchen. I wanted to be able to cook, of course not large meals, but for the food photography classes, I wanted to be able to cook small things, do some prep, reheating, anything that they might need to get ready to shoot the food photography. And by the way, again, 90% of this stuff, with the exception of the equipment in my little mini kitchen here, came from thrift shops. I love buying things. This rolling desk, this is my old desk. If any of y'all have watched my older videos, this is what I used to use in my house when I was doing all my photography in there. That came from a thrift shop for about $10, something like that. All of the glassware, the silverware, all of the plates, all of this, or at least the majority of it, came from thrift shops. So you don't have to spend a ton of money if you want to start doing food photography or still life photography or really any sort of photography in your home. Just go to the thrift shops, hang out, resale shops, sometimes antique shops, and you can find some really cool stuff for really good prices. This is stuff that I'm going to be using mainly for my still life classes and for me shooting still life here in the studio. And it's just a collection of different various things that I have collected over the years. These bottles here, these antique bottles, actually were all dug off the property. So I left the dirt on them for patina, if you will, and because they're really cool looking. Now down here, These are more props that I can use for either still life or for food photography. I have cutting boards by the masses here, and everything that I need to shoot and to set up for still life and food photography. Now, going back to the portrait part of the studio, these are all 5x7 they're full length backdrops that I can use. So when someone comes in to be photographed, we can go through, pick the backdrop that they want, and I'll be filming a photo shoot here soon, and you'll see how that works. These other backdrops are some that I found for $5, $6, $7, $8 on Amazon, and they're printed. Some are vinyl, some are fabric, but they're really inexpensive, and this is for my tabletop stuff. So it depending on the look that I want. I can swap these out, make them light, make them dark, things like that. This stuff here is wall covering and just some really cheap stuff that I found either online at the dollar store, things like that. All of these are small for really tight close-up macro shots, and these are all just backgrounds. These are all pictures that I've taken over the years and then printed on 11x17 and 11x14 to use as backdrops for my macro and for my food photography. So these didn't really cost me anything except for the ink. And I do have a large format printer that prints up to 13 by I think 19 or something. But even that, even if all you have is just a regular printer that only prints 8.5 by 11, take some photos, put them on your computer, print them out, especially if it's textures, backgrounds. This is just rust that I shot. This is off an old column that's on the front of my house, and I thought the texture was cool, and so I shot it and then printed it. This was shot on a trip to Mississippi. This was on the side of a building. I have no clue. I guess that's what they put on. That's the lath that they put on before they stucco it, but I thought that was really interesting. This was shot on a railroad track in Clarksdale, Mississippi, and I just got in tight and shot it. And again, it didn't cost me anything. This is the same same location, and I changed the orientation, but that's going to make a really, really neat backdrop for stills or food or whatever I want to use it for. So I hope you enjoyed your tour of my little studio in the woods, and I hope to see you here soon as either one of my students or as one of my subjects for your portrait.